Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Duster Faith. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to Factorial 4X, your 15-minute factorial fix. This is Season 3, Episode 39. So, back to the Maginot Line, right? And this is me just going to see where the moat is. The Maginot Line is named for a gentleman, that Maginot fellow, and it's named for him because he was actually the... let's go to Wikipedia. I hate Wikipedia. It's so terrible. André Maginot. I think that's how you say it. I don't know. My French pronunciation is terrible. And André Maginot, he advocated for the line, but the actual work was done by a gentleman named Paul Painlevé. I don't know if I'm saying that. I apologize. Neither of them were bakers, but Mr. Painlevé? Ugh. Pronouncing it wrong. I apologize if you are a native French speaker. I apologize for butchering it. Painlevé. Paul, is it Painlevé? Painlevé. Painlevé. I think it's Paul Painlevé. Anyways, he was more of a mathematician and so forth, and at one time was the Prime Minister of France. Anyway, so I'm not sure where this baker came in, but you know what? That's what I get for believing the internet. Curses, internet! You've made me look dumb yet again. See, normally I can handle looking dumb on my own, but the internet decided it needed to help. So anyways, yeah, Factorio and Reddit, you're wrong. Anyways, maybe the guy who did a lot of the design of the fortifications. No, never mind. I'm not going to go there anymore. Anyways, I despise Wikipedia, not because it shows that I'm wrong, but because Wikipedia is maintained by the most politically motivated left-wing group of folks you'll ever meet in your life. Holy cow. Anyways, so what I'm doing is I'm starting to run the rail up to where I'm going to put the next moat. It's time to get mine. I'm going to run in my train with my hand on the 9. No, I'm not. Cypress Hill has nothing to do with building this. So I need to start moving stuff up there, and I looked in that box and I was amazed that there's red belt down there. That's nice. So and this is weird because getting everything together to build the the moat is a heck of a lot more complicated than just what the moat's doing. I mean, this is ridiculously complicated, and I realize it's not that complicated, but it's running the rail and all kinds of stuff. And right now I'm running this, and at some point in the back of my head I'm going to go, wait a minute. I have no access to coal up there to power the terraforming machine. What the hell am I going to do? How am I supposed to run the terraforming machine? And so what I'll end up doing is I'll end up putting a fourth cart on the train. So here's me. If you recall in one of the earlier episodes, I just left those worms there. I was like, whatever. Well, now I've got to go clear them out. So I'm going to be almost out of ammunition here for my little subby. I am out. And I'm just going to use my laser. Now, unfortunately, I can't use the suit lasers to shoot stuff, which I think is terrible. I mean, I can, but I can't, like, shoot a tree with it. I can't kill trees with it, which is atrocious. It's a travesty. So I'm looking here. I want to make sure that everything's on the level, and pun not intended. That wasn't even a very good pun. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend this line just a little bit north so that I don't have to completely rerun the rail, because I'm lazy like that. I'm like, you know what? I'm technically building the reverse of a wall. I'm building a big ditch. This isn't going to be that big a deal. And again, I don't want to rerun the rail. And all the rail is doing really is adding materials to here so I can use the robots to move around. So the rail station isn't super important. But I am going to build everything, get everything set up. Gun emplacements, power, roboports. Oh, gosh, thank you, memory. Gonna get roboports together, get everything together, and get it all set up. So all I have to do is get the, get the terraformer in place. That's all I'm doing here is I'm getting everything set up so the terraformer can do its shtick, and then I can continue building the factory. Because after this, I'm really going to start working on, what do you call it? I'm really going to start working on the power, and I've decided I'm going to go solar. I am absolutely going to go solar. As much as I said I'm not going to, the scope is too big, I think. Drink for me. Sorry. The scope is too big for me to run just off of, and we're done. So I'm going to build my little emplacement. It's actually going to be pretty crappy, and I don't know, but I might regret building it so small later. I mean, the biters are pretty big. So at some point, I anticipate I'm going to have to come back here and actually build a bigger base. So here, I don't need any of this robot stuff here anymore. I'm going to have one roboport. It's going to be full of, it's going to be full of like 5 or 10 construction robots and repair kits, and that's it. So, and that'll keep this part safe for a very long time. I hope. We'll see. After I start the factory, the funny part is there were robots delivering stuff to the terraformer, and then I took the terraformer away. Because, you know, we're going to have fun till Daddy takes the terraformer away. Right? No fans of Beach Boys over here? Fine. Regardless. So I'm heading back to the main base because I need to get train stations. I don't have any new rail stations. Now, I could have stopped there and stolen one of those, but I leave them there because who knows, I may need the train to stop there again someday, maybe. And this might be the part where I put a 4th cart on there. I don't know, maybe not. Although I'm getting all the parts necessary to put together all the roboports and get them all up there. Excuse me, coffee. Oh, the coffee was it was room temperature, which meant since it's probably about, I don't know, 72, maybe it's 65 in this room. I don't know, my legs are freezing. And I don't have the space heater on, so it's just getting cooler and cooler, which is better for the computer. The computer likes to run a little hot. And you know, it's funny, I don't have... that's interesting. I didn't have my Afterburner stuff running. Very interesting. So, let's detach that. You can go away. I've got windows popping up out of nowhere. So, I don't know what's going on. Anyways. Alright, there we go. Now I can see what the GPU and stuff are running at. And they're not running it very much at all. Not that you cared. Not that you cared. So, again, because I have so many supplies here, I'm going to run the train. I'm basically going to run the train back and forth to empty all the supplies there. And I don't have enough, what do you call it? I think I have enough fuel to do it, and I'm gonna screw up with a lot of these names. I mean, there's so many, and I'm like, oh, gosh, the train was gonna get stranded somewhere, and there we go. So I was panicking a little there. It's like, oh crap. So as much as you can panic in a video game. The reason I rebuilt that is because it was too far forward, and I didn't want it far forward. And I have no idea what I'm going to do with all this wood, honestly. I'm going to get a girlfriend. No, that's not going to happen. Anyways, so here's the bombs. I'm setting myself up the bombs so I can go ahead and put the water barreling into operation. And I also realized that explosion was that damage was the explosion damaging stuff. So here I'm putting stuff together, and there's trees in the way, and I'm like, there's a limit to how long you can keep the little build areas up, and they're going to go away real quick. Like, yeah, there. So they stick around, and so I have to power up the robo ports, in order for me to be able to see where they are. And I think that's an interesting little mechanic. I'm not sure it's any good. I mean, I'm not going to sit there and go, that's fantastic. But it is what it is. I mean, you know, what am I supposed to do, right? So all I'm doing here is I'm just setting up where the roboports again. And like I said, I'm setting everything up ahead of time. So everything's going to run, and all I'm going to have to do is, at some point, move the terraformer. And that's it. And I'm also going to need to make sure there's a solid path. So I can make 90 megawatts if I have to. I have enough, what do you call them? Electric furnaces? Not electric furnaces. I have plenty of those. I have enough steam engines and boilers that I can make 90 megawatts of power. Now, that's a lot. Do I need 90 megawatts of power? You know, that's debatable. With all the lasers, I probably do, but I probably will. Wow, that train looks actually really fast at 4 times speed. We're actually going to have to... yeah, this is where I add on the 4th car, because at this point I'm trying to figure out, well, how am I going to get coal to the terraformer? And I'm also going to build some more requester chests and some steel chests and so forth. And I have another train car or cargo wagon in here somewhere. Oh, and I'm putting lasers back? What am I putting stuff back? I'm just putting stuff away because, you know, why not? And here's where I start trying, yeah, because I have so much track. And at some point, here we go. I'm just going to put another one on, and then I'm going to have to move and it starts loading the solid fuel in. I was like, rah, rah, rah. Quit loading the solid fuel in. Nobody asked you for that. And I'm being all crabby, because why not? So, and then, there we go. So now I've got power. Now, the thing is, the way I've set it up is actually, when I pull into the station, it's going to start loading stuff into places it doesn't need to be loaded in. I'm just going to feel kind of dumb. But we're going to get in the train. We've got fuel. We're going to roll out to the northeast most moat. And so I'm actually going to have to move one of the train stations, and because the coal, I'm going to pull into the station. The coal's where the iron is. The iron's going to be where it's going to try and load iron into the coal car. It's going to try and load concrete into the iron car. So there you go. And see, everything's moving. I kind of go, no. So I realize, oh. So I'm gonna do the smart thing, and I'm just gonna move the station, because I should. Just gonna go there. There we go. So I'll put the station in. Everything's hunky dory. There we go. Move that. Put that up there. Get the train going. There we go. So everything's where it's supposed to be. I can hook it all back up. And now I'm gonna get the coal. I'm gonna get a buffer going. And I don't think. And I'm gonna kind of try to speed things up by acting as a logistics robot myself. So I was like, you know, whatever. Let's get this thing going. I don't want to screw around with it too much. So, what is it? Oh, I don't remember. Anyways, I'm sure I was saying something not important, but gosh, totally lost track of what I was saying. Anyway, so. But I'm going to go up here, and now I'm going to actually set up all the active providers. I'm going to put everything together, and we're going to be well on our way. We're going to have the terraforming is going to be running, and soon I can start setting up my factory proper. And again, here's a buffer. I always like having a buffer, especially since I'm going to be pulling stuff from the other station. So we're going to be doing this. And a very kind gentleman showed me how to move, or told me how to move the inserter source, the inserter in circle, so I could change the source. And I should probably, well, I don't remember his name offhand, but he was a very kind gentleman who popped into I think it was the second to last episode in season 1, and said, hey, you can do this. And I went, yeah, CAD. Oh. And he was kind enough to tell me how to do it. And here I load in logistics robots, and everything's running. So the moat is running and doing its thing. And there I'm setting it up so it'll pull the supplies from the old station. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we are wrapping this up. Thank you for joining me for the latest episode of Factorial Forex, your 15-minute Factoria fix. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. So have a good night, and bye-bye.